Hi, welcome to Multiplying Fractions by Whole Numbers. We might have a problem that looks like this. Mara is planting a garden. Each row is 2 yards long. She wants to plant strawberries along 3/4 of each row. How many yards of each row will she plant with strawberries? So this is asking us to find 3/4 times 2. So 3/4 times 2. Because we have 3/4 of 2 rows that are planted. So we can create a model to help us solve this problem. So I might say we have one row which is 1 and another row which is 1. And I'm going to find 4 fraction strips that have the same denominator that fit exactly under the 2 holes. So I can do 1/2 and 1/2, 1/2 and 1/2. So I had to find 4 fraction strips that would fit under the 2 holes. So that's what I did. Now I am going to circle 3/4 of the model that I drew. So 3/4 of these are right here. So I have 3 halves. And 3 halves, if I switch it into a mixed number, is 1/2. So that's how you can use a model to help you figure it out. I honestly think that doing the computation is easier. So let's take a look at what that would look like. Let me erase this quickly. So 3/4 times 2. If I'm just doing the computation, I'm going to put a 1 underneath my 2, and that's going to mean the same. 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 1 is 4. I just multiply straight across. Well, then I have the fraction 6/4, which is a fraction greater than 1. Like I've said before, when I was in school, we used to call this an improper fraction, but now we refer to it as a fraction greater than 1. So now I need to do 2 things with this fraction. I need to simplify it, and I need to turn it into a mixed number. So first of all, I notice that 6/4, both of those numbers are even, so I can divide them both by 2. So after I do that, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. I get the mixed number 3/2, or not the mixed number, sorry. I get the fraction greater than 1, 3/2. So now I just divide 3 by 2, because in 1 times 2 is 2, and when I subtract I get 1, which becomes my new numerator, and I have my denominator here. So I have 1 and 1/2. So either way, I get the same answer. So make sure that you watch the video, and you might need to watch it more than once to understand the model. So let's take a look at another one. In this problem, we have Max was helping clean up after a party. There were 3 pie plates with pie left. Each pie had 3/8 of a pie left. How much pie was left in all? So in this instant, we have 3 whole pies of 3/8. So that's what this problem represents. So if we were going to draw a model to solve this, I have 3 pies. These are not very good pies. And they each had 3/8. So let me divide these into 8s. And they each had 3/8 of the pie left. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 1/8, 2/8, and 3/8. Okay, so all together we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of pie left. and our denominator remains the same. So 9/8, which is an improper fraction, there was 1 1/8 total pieces of pie left. And I did that by dividing 9 by 8, and I got 1 1/8. Now, let's just do the work and see what we get. Get this out of the way so that we can do that. I'll leave the model down there just for us. We're going to put the 3 over a 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 8 is 8. And 9/8, which we just did the work for, equals 1 1/8. So now here's just some problems to practice. 5/12 times 3. You can draw a model, or you can just solve. If I were going to draw a model, I would draw 3 items, maybe like pies or pizzas, that have 12 pieces in them with 5 shaded, just like we just did with the pies. I can also just do the work straight across. 5 times 3 is 15, and 12 times 1 is 12. So we have 15/12, which is a fraction greater than 1. So I can go ahead and divide 15 by 12. 12 goes into 15 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. When I subtract, I get 3. And I have 1 3/12. Hopefully you're noticing something. Hopefully you're noticing that we can simplify 3/12 further. I can divide both 3 and 12 by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, and I still have my whole number of 1. So 1 1/4 would be my answer. Here we have 9 times 1/3. Again, 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. And this time when I divide, I get a whole number. I get 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So there is no remainder. So see, if I do the work, it just goes in 3 times evenly. And I never say I have 3 0/3. I have just 3. If you have no remainder, that means it went in evenly. All right. Here are some for you to practice and bring to school tomorrow. Have a great night or day.